Broken bitch. Get up and move. Markham's voice slices through the scorching desert heat, thick with the acrid smell of gunpowder and sweat-soaked fatigues. Dust kicks up under heavy boots, gritty particles biting into skin. Sweat stings eyes like acid, blurring vision. The flashbang's deafening crack echoes in ears, a metallic tang of fear on the tongue, paralyzing her mid-stride as whispers turn to mocking laughs that sting like sand in the wind. She doesn't react. But seconds later, a single order changes everything. What if the victim was the real threat? Before we show how a SEAL commander's words unleashed her hidden elite skills, comment your location. Like, subscribe, bell, because this story of underestimated power will leave you empowered and ready for more. The transport van brakes squeal against cracked asphalt baked white by the Nevada sun. Staff Sergeant Elena Voss steps down, her left leg absorbing the impact with a barely noticeable hitch, mid-30s. Plain fatigues, hanging loose on a frame that looks unremarkable at first glance. Dark hair scraped back into a bun, so severe it pulls at the skin. Only her eyes betray anything different, deep gray, always scanning. Cataloging threats and exits without effort. Elena Voss. REPORTING for Advanced Combat Training Class 14. The admin sergeant barely looks up. Barracks 3, Room 208. Briefings at 0500. Don't be late. The barracks smell of bleach, old sweat, and hot metal. Elena claims the bunk farthest from the door back to the wall, full view of the entrance. Old habit. The kind you don't shake after years in places where the wrong sleeping spot ends everything. At evening chow, she sits alone, tray balanced on her knees, eating methodically. 3 tables over, Lieutenant Harlan Markham holds court. Perfect posture. Perfect smirk. Flanked by his pack, Torres, built like a heavyweight. Miller, sharp tongue and sharper eyes. Peters, skinny, nervous, always laughing a beat too late. Some people get slots because they earn them, Markham says loudly. Others, well, someone upstairs must like them. Torres chuckles. Miller smirks. Peters snorts into his mashed potatoes. When Elena walks past to return her tray, conversation dies. Torres mutters something low. The others laugh harder. She doesn't react, but she remembers every face. The rifle range stretches under a merciless sky. Targets at 300 meters. Easy shots for anyone with real experience. Elena's first magazine goes wide. Reload fumbles. Fingers suddenly clumsy. Rounds scatter like she's never held a weapon before. Again, Voss. The instructor barks. You're bleeding time. Behind her, Markham's voice carries. Guess some qualifications don't transfer. Wonder what else doesn't. She doesn't react. Urban combat course next. Shipping containers welded into a maze of rooms and hallways. Simulated gunpowder hangs thick in the air. Echoes of training rounds snap like bones. Elena stacks at the door. Breathes, moves too. Slow dot paper target, kills the hostage before she can engage. Buzzer screams failure. Instructor shakes his head. Hesitation kills Voss. Markham again, loud enough for the staging area. Painful to watch. Really painful. Miller adds, maybe she should try something safer. Like knitting. Torres flexes, drawing eyes to his size. Whatever she did before, it wasn't this. She doesn't react, but Master Chief Harlan Reyes watches from the shade of the equipment shed. He's seen operators before. Real ones. And something about Voss doesn't add up. The way she positions herself in briefings, always near an exit. The way her gear is arranged with surgical precision. The way, when she thinks no one's looking, her hands flow through weapon drills like water. These aren't habits of someone struggling. These are habits of someone holding back. Week 1 bleeds into week 2. Nicknames stick like BURRS. Tourist. Deadweight. Broken. They say it to her face now. In the mess. On the range. During team runs. Hey, Broken, Markham calls one morning. Try not to freeze today. Some of us want to pass. Peters laughs too loud. Torres cracks his knuckles. Miller just smiles that cutting smile. She doesn't react. The obstacle course is supposed to be simple. Walls. Rope bridge. Barbed wire crawl. Tire run. Elena clears the first 3 obstacles clean. Time competitive. Then the flashbang simulator detonates. Crack. White light. Thunder in the ears, she freezes. Not tactical pause. Complete shutdown. Eyes distant. Breath shallow. Hands trembling at her sides. Seconds stretch. 10, 15, 20. Trainees finish around her. Instructors stare. Move, Voss. The rangemaster shouts. She blinks. Pushes forward. Finishes last. That night in the barracks, the pack doesn't whisper anymore. Shell-shocked, Miller says with textbook confidence. Seen it before. She's done. Torres nods. Can't trust someone who cracks like that. Peters. Never know when she fold. Markham sums it up. Broken bit asterisk H shouldn't be here. Someone needs to tell her before she gets us all killed. From her bunk in the corner, Elena hears every word. She doesn't react, but her fists clench once under the blanket, before she forces them open. If you're hooked right now. Watching these entitled men tear her down while she takes it, silently smash that like button. It tells YouTube to push this story to more people who need to see what comes next. Master Chief Reyes finds her before dawn on the empty range. She's running dry fire drills alone in the half-light. Magazine changes crisp. Malfunction clearance is instant. Target transitions flawless. Whatever is wrong isn't lack of skill. It's control. Team exercises begin. Complex urban assaults. Hostage rescue. Multiple buildings. Naturally, Elena is assigned to Markham's squad. Outstanding, Markham sneers when rosters post. Just what we needed. A liability. First building goes wrong immediately. Elena hesitates at the door. Peters breaches alone. Takes a simulated round. Dies loudly. Thanks, Broken, he spits. Real helpful. By the third building, 3 simulated casualties. All traceable to her delays. Markham explodes at extraction. This is exactly what I warned about. You can't carry dead weight. Torres glares. Miller mutters about standards. Peters looks away. Instructors note it all. Paperwork starts moving. Medical discharge recommended. Unfit for stress. Reyes fights it quietly. But evidence piles up. Friday is final evaluation. One last chance. Everyone knows it's theater. Thursday afternoon, a black SUV rolls through the gate without warning. Tinted windows. Government plates. The entire yard goes still. Commander Jax Ryder steps out. Tall, weathered. The walk of a man who's operated in places that don't exist on maps. Eyes that miss nothing. He heads straight for Reyes. Chief, I need to observe Voss's final run tomorrow. Sir. Her performance has been, I know what the reports say. Ryder's voice low, certain. I also know what they don't say. Across the yard, Elena freezes mid-gear check. Recognition flickers across her face for the first time in weeks. Markham notices. Look at that. Broken knows the navy suit. Miller, think he's here to babysit her out? Torres laughs. She doesn't react, but her pulse jumps. Friday. Heat shimmers off concrete. Squad assembles for final hostage rescue scenario. Same course that's crushed them all week. Commander Ryder stands just inside the fence. Hands clasped behind back, watching. Markham's squad moves out. Elena falls into pattern. Cautious entries. Delayed decisions, positioning that looks paranoid to amateurs. First building, another casualty. Peters again. God damn it, Voss. Second building, worse. From the fence. Ryder's voice cuts through, comes like ice. Voss, Phantom Edge, execute. Everything changes. One heartbeat, she's the struggling sergeant everyone's dismissed. The next, she's flow and precision and controlled violence. Rifle snaps up. She flows past Markham before he can blink. First target appears double tap center mass before it finishes rising. Second target controlled pair as she pies the corner. Movement fluid, inevitable. Torres stumbles trying to keep up. What the? She doesn't slow. Room to room, she dismantles the course like it offended her. Angles anticipated. Threats neutralized before they manifest. Reloads without breaking stride. Transfers shoulder to shoulder in impossibly tight corners. The hostage room final. Nightmare that's failed. Every squad lasts 7 seconds. 2 hostiles down. Hostage secured. Extraction route already chosen. Success tone blares. Then silence. Thick. Suffocating, the kind that follows thunder. Dust settles slowly in the dry air. The smell of simulated rounds lingers. Sharp and bitter. Every eye in the staging area locks on her. Markham's helmet slips from numb fingers. Clatters to the ground. His face, once so smug, so superior, crumbles. Eyes wide with raw shock. Mouth working soundlessly. The entitled leader who spent weeks tearing her down now looks small, broken. His arrogance shattered like glass under boot. Tara's massive chest heaves. The knuckles that once cracked threats hang limp. Shoulders slump as if the weight of his own cruelty finally crushes him. He can't meet her eyes. Miller's razor tongue fails him. The sharp smile gone. Lips pressed thin, pale. For the first time, the man who cut with words feels the blade turn back. Peters drops to a knee, pretending to adjust gear. But his hands shake. The nervous laugh that echoed their mockery dead now. Buried. Instructors stand frozen. One whispers hoarsely, "Jesus. Did you see that?" Another checks the stopwatch twice, disbelieving the record time glowing on the screen. Reyes feels it in his chest, vindication burning hot. Pride for the operator he suspected all along, and Elena. She saves her weapon with calm, practiced motions. Sweat cools on her skin. Heart rate already dropping to baseline. Outside, serene. Untouched. Inside, a storm finally released. Weeks of venom. Broken bit *H dead weight. Tourist, every insult, every laugh, every knowing smirk, they flood back now, but they don't sting anymore. They evaporate. Powerless against what she just proved. She endured it all. Swallowed the rage. Stayed contained. Not because she was weak, because she was stronger than they could ever comprehend. Restraint like hers. It takes a lifetime of discipline. Of missions in hell. Of bearing pieces of yourself to survive. And now? Catharsis floods through her veins. Like cold water after fire. Sweet. Overwhelming. They see her now. Really see. The quiet woman they humiliated. The predator they never suspected. She doesn't gloat. She doesn't need to. The silence says everything. Markham finally chokes out a whisper. Voice cracked. Small. How did you? Elena meets his gaze. Steady, unforgiving gray eyes. Training, she says simply, but inside one word echoes. Finally. Ryder approaches with measured steps. The only man in the yard who isn't reeling. Chief, we need to discuss Sergeant Voss's actual record. Debrief room. Door closed. Air conditioning humming cold against flushed skin. Ryder doesn't waste words. Phantom Edge, classified joint program. Deep penetration. High-value targets. Voss was one of the best operators we ever ran. Reyes looks at Elena, who's cleaning her disassembled rifle with mechanical calm. 3 years. Perfect record. 0 losses. Then an IED on exfil. Medical hold while psych evaluated the conditioning. Conditioning? Reyes asks. Ryder nods. Phantom operators are taught to suppress full capability until authorized. Safety protocol. Prevents incidents during routine duties. Elena speaks quietly. Without the code phrase, I'm just another soldier with normal limits. With it, she gestures toward the window where instructors still stare at the scoreboard. Bearing her name at the top. Reyes exhales slowly. So the past 3 weeks. Containment, Elena says. Not failure. Strength. Ryder adds, Brass wanted to test integration into conventional units post-injury. They got their answer. The discharge paperwork vanishes by evening. New orders appear. Tactical instructor. Special Operations Training Command. Markham's pack never recovers. No more nicknames. No more smirks. Peters stammers apologies that die in his throat. Torres and Miller keep distance. Eyes averted. The memory of their cruelty now a permanent weight. Markham is destroyed most thoroughly. The easy arrogance evaporates overnight. He second-guesses every breath. Every order. Every step. The man who believed himself apex predator now flinches at Shadow's knowing. He spent weeks mocking the deadliest wolf in the pack. Ryder leaves the next morning. Brief nod to Elena. No drama. Before he goes, he tells Reyes. She requests training command. Let her have it. People like Voss have already paid prices most of us can't imagine. She's earned the right to teach instead of hunt. Graduation day. Elena stands in formation like any other soldier, but those who witness Phantom Edge carry the scar, the awe, the shame. The less some truths are too dangerous to forget, and some women are too strong to ever break. Have you ever been underestimated so badly it almost felt like a gift? Would you have had the discipline to stay contained for weeks while they tore you down, or would the rage have won? What would you say to Markham now, watching his entire world of arrogance collapse in one perfect run? And finally, do you believe true power is in the explosion, or in the silence before it? Drop your answers below. We read every comment. If this story of hidden strength, crushing revenge, and pure cathartic triumph hit you right in the chest, smash like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Share it with anyone who's ever been called broken when they were really just unbreakable. More stories of underestimated warriors rising up are already waiting. Click one now, because the wolf never announces itself to the sheep.